Join Master of Menace Mark Maloney and the OG guy being Dude Aidan Maloney as they explore movies, music, food, and nightlife on The Mark Mo Show. With segments like You Just Made the List, Carpe Diem, and The 15, each episode is loaded with shenanigans, tomfoolery, and chaos. We hope you enjoy the show.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to Season 1, Episode 4 of The Mark Mo Show. My name is Mark Maloney, and I'm your host, along with AK219's very own Aidan Maloney. How you doing, man?
It's a beautiful weekend out there. Lots of snow, lots of cold. I hate it, but it's the weekend, so it's wonderful in that aspect.
I agree. There's no doubt. It's like in the upper 30s-ish, which yesterday was much colder.
Very cold, yeah.
So this was like I walked down my house like, why do I feel warm?
Right.
Something wrong with me?
We've been tortured by like the negative 5-degree wind chills.
Yeah.
So yeah, these 30 degrees start to feel nice. It's like, oh no, I better not get used to this.
Yeah, no doubt. But yeah, so here we are on a February day, and February's always weird in terms of weather, right? So you get like days are a little warmer, days are a little colder. It's kind of back and forth. But you know, March is around the corner, dude.
That's so true.
March around the corner, open for it.
March has that beautiful holiday called St. Patrick's Day.
Oh,
and
yeah.
That's what we look forward to.
Yeah.
The change into the weather will be nice.
Yeah, oh, for sure. Yeah, there's no doubt. And we are centrally located, for those of you who don't know, in the whole webosphere here, near Chicago. And so Chicago does that holiday right.
They do it justice for sure.
Yeah, there's no doubt. So we're looking forward to it. If you've never been to Chicago, number one, I'd say Chicago in the summertime is amazing. But if you're not coming in the summer, I would say St. Patty's Day, that middle part of March, definitely hit up Chicago.
Yeah, for sure.
But at any rate, I want to let you guys know we produce new content on a weekly basis on all podcast platforms and YouTube. We also have some one-off interviews coming your way. We had to cancel one with YMCA, unfortunately, but I think that one will be getting back on the books. We have a lot more people interested in that, so once that happens, we'll let you know how we're going to do that, if we incorporate it as part of our regular podcast or have its own thing. I'm leaning towards that. I'm leaning towards calling it Fireside Chats.
Right.
And I think it'll be good.
I think that'll be fun, for sure.
Yeah, no doubt. So we'll have that going on, and, they'll be fun and funny and informative and all that kind of good stuff. So once we get that going, we'll definitely let you know. And if you like the Mark Mo Show, check out my radio show After Hours on WVLP.org or the TuneIn app on your handheld device. 2 hours of uninterrupted Celtic punk and alt-rock every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time and Friday at 4 p.m. Central Standard Time. You should also check out Guys Being Dudes AK219 podcast with Aidan Maloney and Kevin Boland. Why don't you tell the world a little bit about what's going on in the AK219 world?
Yeah, it's been fantastic. The podcast we put out this past Friday was a lot of fun, very entertaining.
Yeah.
We have a segment called WTF where we cover local and regional news, kind of similar to how we do on World of Weird News here. And we found some crazy stories. I have a crazy story for today, too.
Oh, good,
but
good.
It's just been a romp and a rave, as we always say. It's very fun. And we're still playing on AK219 on YouTube. We've been playing KFC Dating Simulator.
Yeah.
Which has been really good. So we've got a new episode of that coming out. It's just been a grand old time.
That's awesome. So I highly recommend everybody check out their podcast. Pretty funny stuff. As well as a lot of your own original content, too.
Yeah, on my own channel. I found this one horror game where you're like running a diner, but the diner is kind of a purgatory of sorts, and you get all this clientele. You're trying to suss out their stories. You're trying to suss out your own story. It's kind of nuts. So that'll be going up soon as well. But that's been a lot of fun. I feel like I'm in like the flow state with all this content creation recently.
Yeah.
Like it's been really, really fun. So I'm super happy and excited about it.
Well, it's funny you say that, because when I started in radio, and that would have been almost 8 years ago now, almost 8. I was told that doing what we do, whether you're on the radio or you're on TV or on YouTube, however you're creating content, when it stops becoming fun, just stop.
Right.
Just stop, because there's no point. And I know some people, like, it's the monetization that drives them. For some people, it's the content.
Right.
And it's just about creating content and putting it out there in the world. And if there's some dude sitting in Toledo, Ohio, what's up, Toledo? And he's just like, oh my God, this is great, this is funny, then I feel like I did my job.
Right. Exactly.
So that's what makes this a lot of fun. So, and we appreciate all of you listening in for sure. Well, the Super Bowl is in the books, and damn the NFL for making me root for Philadelphia.
Oh, dude, I know, right?
Oh my God, that was...
felt like a weird Sunday.
I'm sitting there hooting and hollering.
Yeah, go Eagles! It's like, what's wrong with me?
Yeah, and your co-host, Kevin Boland, he probably would have died.
Yeah.
He is very anti-Philly.
Well, I am too most days, but when it comes to Patty Mahomes and the NFL
Kelsey
refs
and
taking
refs
an L,
oh yeah.
You just gotta cheer it on. Right?
Right, and the thing is, like, if someone told me 5 years ago I'd root for the Eagles over the Chiefs, I'd be like, oh, no, ain't hell.
Yeah.
No, ain't hell. But, like,
Here
the Chiefs have just, they become everything I hate.
Exactly.
So that's
a dynasty in sports that arguably doesn't deserve, I mean, I don't want to say doesn't deserve it. That, I feel like that would get some flack for being just incorrect. But if you're being held up on a string by NFL refs, did you really win them all? I mean, come on.
Right, and it's funny you mention that, because in that game, the refs pretty much kept that right down the middle, and what happened? Chiefs got their ass kicked.
Yeah. Yep. Interesting how that works.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. 6
sacks and what? They didn't blitz a single time?
They didn't.
That was beautiful.
That was, man. So, well, hats off to the coach for that game plan.
Yeah, man.
That was definitely solid. And I forget, like, there was that one play, forget how much they were up at the time. Might have been 27-0 or whatever the score was. But he called, like, the play was called, like, nail in the coffin or something. And it was that bomb.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Smith, that he just, like, boom, just on a rope. Nail in the coffin. I'm like, that's awesome.
Beautiful.
I love that.
Poetry.
It really was. So at any rate, and ladies and gentlemen, don't mind me if I have to take breaks here. I didn't even do my radio show last week. And I lost my voice. So talking is a bit of a challenge. So we'll get it. We'll make it.
We'll lock in.
We'll lock in. I might hack. I have a funny feeling he'll be able to take that out in post, which will be good.
Fix it in post.
But at any rate, so that was the game. Commercials weren't great. Like, they weren't terrible.
They were just mid. They were just regular commercials.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. And then this is probably the first time, maybe ever, that I was looking forward more to the halftime show.
Right, exactly.
Than the actual game.
Right.
Because anytime someone asked me, hey, watch the Super Bowl, where are you watching the Super Bowl, what are you doing, blah, 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 I'm like, oh, I'm watching Kendrick Lamar. And
right.
They're going to play some football around him.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, that's kind of what's going on. But anyway, yeah, that halftime show, right? So Kendrick Lamar, this year's performer, flanked by MC Uncle Sam, Jackson, SZA, and Mustard. It had energy, attitude, story. And I loved it. I loved the whole thing. And for more on that halftime show, I turn it over to our hip-hop correspondent, Aiden Maloney.
First of all,
yeah,
let me just be the second one in the room to say that the show was amazing.
Loved it.
It was fantastic.
Uh-huh.
So, like you said, Samuel Jackson was kind of the MC of the halftime show. He introduced Kendrick. Dressed as Uncle Sam, kind of portraying the antagonist of the set. Interludes in between songs, he kept telling Kendrick Lamar how to act, how to play the game, in air quotes, playing the literal government figurehead, if you will, trying to stop Kendrick from spreading his messages, quoting Kendrick being too loud, too reckless, too ghetto.
Too ghetto, yeah.
Which, I mean, when I saw that, I'm like, oh my god, this whole orchestration is perfect.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Of course, playing the so-called Uncle Tom trope, Samuel Jackson was, which, of course, was reminiscent of his character in Django Unchained.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Where he was playing a similar character. Kendrick Lamar opened up the show with a GNX kind of interlude rap saying the revolution's about to be televised, you picked the right time but the wrong guy. Which I thought was great, because I'm sure the NFL nitpicked with a fine-tooth comb through his entire performance.
Oh, I'm sure.
Can't do that, can't do that, can't do that. But I mean, he got that through. That's pretty awesome. Which was a phenomenal way to open. And then before he got into the songs, and I'll touch on this a bit later, before he started with his music, he played 2 notes of the first track off of GNX, Whacked Out Murals, the first 2 notes of that song before switching it up and going a different route, which I'll touch on later, but that, I heard that, I'm like, oh shit.
Yeah.
That's pretty good, because that song's got a little beef in it as well. The choreography and all the dancers, portraying the red, white, and blue, the American flag kind of split right down the middle, was very symbolic, kind of showing like the division in America, divisiveness as a whole. Some people arguing that it's kind of showing like how America was built on the back of slavery, with the interlude, I believe, before he sang Not Like Us, saying 40 acres and a mule, this is bigger than the music.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Which, that was pretty
because emancipated slaves were promised 40 acres and a mule.
Yep.
Did they get that, judges?
Yeah.
Nope.
Right. And then, like, the costuming was pretty fantastic, too. Oh, yeah, by the way, Serena Williams was there. That was perfect.
So good.
Just crip walking with when Not Like Us is playing, because Drake used to date Serena.
He used to date SZA, too.
Yeah, and it's just like, wow, this couldn't be more perfect. And on Kendrick Lamar, he had a chain with a lowercase a, which a lot of people are like, oh, A minor, that's hilarious.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, SZA was phenomenal as well. The set list was the intro rap, then they played Squabble Up, Humble, DNA, Euphoria, Man in the Garden, Peekaboo, Luther with SZA, All the Stars with SZA, Not Like Us, and then TV Off, and that's just a phenomenal set list as a whole anyway.
Oh, yeah.
And we all knew he was going to play Not Like Us, right? Because it was the biggest song of 2024.
Yeah.
And, of course, since the halftime show. I heard after the halftime show, Not Like Us streams increased like 430%. I'm like, damn.
That's good.
Awesome. And then, like I was saying with Whacked Out Murals, it's a song they didn't play, but they played the first 2 notes of. And I kind of see why, because they were in New Orleans, right? And in the song Whacked Out Murals, he calls out probably New Orleans' most famous rapper, Lil Wayne, for being a little bitch, essentially. Because Lil Wayne was complaining, like, oh, it's in New Orleans, I should have gotten the nod to be on stage. And, yeah, not to mention Lil Wayne is a trumper, so that's an instant L anyway.
Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, in Whacked Out Murals, Kendrick Lamar calls out Lil Wayne, he calls out Snoop Dogg. It's just like, ooh, even just playing the first 2 notes of that, I'm like, oh, I know what that means.
Yep.
That's a hey, fuck you. without even saying it, So I just thought that was amazing.
Yeah,
the performance as a whole was great.
It was. One thing that I liked, which a lot of people didn't pick up, was at the very beginning, and the show started, and on the field, there was a triangle and an X and a circle. They were basically the controller of the Sony controller.
Right.
Drake is signed by Sony.
So he's playing the game.
He has a PlayStation, so he's playing the game. And so it was like dun 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 dun, and it's like going. What it was the GTA cheat code for invincibility.
No shit.
That's how he started it.
That's
out.
great.
So it's like, man, like, and I didn't pick it up at the time, but like when I started doing rewatches and other influencers reacting to it, and one of the guys like, "Did you guys notice?" I'm like, "Oh my god,
that's great.
That's amazing.
That's great.
He did that. That was awesome. I love that." And then at the very end, when. So he does They Not Like Us, and then he went in to turn the TV off.
Yep.
And Muster comes out, Serena Crip walks, whatever. Like the whole thing, like that way they ended it was just like a gut punch. And then boom, he just ends it, lights out, game over in the crowd.
Background, yeah.
Amazing.
Perfect.
Yeah, it was great.
It was a phenomenal halftime show. I loved it.
Yeah, it was excellent. It was excellent. So. But yeah, thanks for that report. That
Absolutely.
was awesome. I thought it was a great halftime, a good Super Bowl. It couldn't have been better. We had a great time. Like, we had a group of people, and it was my son and two of my old friends from Chicago, and they came out, and some of my newer friends from Valpo. So it was really kind of a nice group, and I knew everybody would get along, and it was great, and we had a fun time. It was B-dubs, so there's wings.
Right.
So that's not bad. And my friend Jess, she had to work, so we're just like, oh, all right, we're bringing the party to you.
Right.
So that kind of worked out perfectly. But at any rate, it was a good day.
I agree.
It was a good day, good halftime, and we are going to take a break, and we'll be right back with a little Carpe Diem on the Mark Mo Show. All right, we are back, everybody. It is time for a little Carpe Diem here on the Mark Mo Show. Carpe Diem, very simple. People like you. That's right, you. Go to the mirror. I'll wait. Yep, you. Send us your DMs, and we read them on air. And no matter what they say, we'll read them. It's cool. If it's a question, we'll answer it. Doesn't mean we're going to answer it right.
That's true. That's true.
Like our answer.
We're not legally obligated to answer.
Oh, we are not.
No. It's like a gift.
It is a gift.
Yeah.
Oh, no doubt.
Way.
So, I'm going to kick things off today with a little at KC Kermit love.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Oh, it's real. Where did all the flags go? It was so unfair. I can't believe they let him hit my guy over and over. So rigged.
So rigged indeed. It's almost like football's a contact sport.
Yeah. It's almost like they said, yeah, let's let these guys play the game.
Right.
Aww.
Did someone have to take an L on a big stage? Aww.
Oh, Kermie.
Someone couldn't get a dub without the help of the refs? Aww.
Oh, so sad. Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here. Ah! That pretty much
that's him getting sacked.
That's him getting sacked over and over. Ah! How about this? At Ms. Piggy 69.
Oh no.
Get your bitch ass hands off my Kermie. Where are the flags?
I can't believe both of them checked in. That's kind of it. They must be pissed.
They're pissed. They're not happy.
Well, unfortunately, Mrs. Pig. Yeah, sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Ran out of flags, took an L.
Yep, it's that simple. At Tay for Life. Did I hear the crowd boo my absolute goddess? Why? Because she is rich, famous, and talented, and they're stuck living in a double wide and working at AutoZone? Wow, Tay.
Wowee. Well, they booed Tay, and they also booed the Führer. I'm sorry, president.
Right.
So, I mean, people just boo who they're not a fan of, you know?
It's true. I think
you can't expect a crowd to always cheer, right?
Oh, yeah.
Cheering and jeering. It's what we do.
It's what we do. And when you're at a game, you don't watch a game. It's like,
that's true.
Oh, there's so-and-so. And the people are like, get out of here.
Right. It's not a Taylor Swift thing. And, well, it's not for me. I know it is for some people.
For some
people it is, just because they don't like Taylor Swift. I I don't like celebrities being shown at I want to watch the football game.
Right.
I want to watch the football game. I want to watch the halftime show. I don't care who showed up. I don't care. They paid 10 grand for a ticket. I don't care.
Yeah, no doubt.
You don't have to show them.
Nope. At No Fly Zone, why aren't we talking about all these planes crashing and the firings at the FAA that preceded them? It's a good question, No Fly Zone.
Yeah, that is... I mean, you want to talk about coincidences, right? That's... Yeesh, what was the famous guy that said there are no coincidences?
Oh.
I forgot.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, someone said that. I just find that interesting.
I do too.
Yeah.
Because I was out with a friend the other night, and he was saying how the next 4 years are going to be a train wreck. I'm like, actually...
It's a plane wreck.
A plane wreck is what
That's pretty good.
Is what we're looking at.
That's pretty good. Yeah. Kind of crazy how we went from Boeing whistleblowers getting disappeared to to planes they're just crashing now.
Just crashing.
Just crashing now.
I'm gonna walk or drive.
Yeah.
Whatever I can control.
I'll bike somewhere.
Oh, no doubt.
Give me a tricycle.
Yeah.
At least that's safe.
You're biking to Tennessee. I'll get there.
You gonna stop me?
You gonna stop me? No way. Not now, not never. At Stoner Stanley 420. Hey, Kevin. What's your number? I need to talk to you about those stolen items from Cox Sporting Place. I give you weed. Oh, wait. This is the Mark, Mo, and Alan show. Oopsie. That what I say. What are you doing?
I say, well, Stan, I don't know if he realizes you can just go back and delete a previous part.
Right.
But, I'm glad you're still wondering about Kevin. We are too sometimes. But, yeah, I don't know much about the stolen Cox either. I wasn't there for that.
No.
In fact, I don't even remember hearing about it. But, we're chilling. We're doing good.
We're definitely doing good.
To answer the question, yeah.
Yeah, no doubt. We're fine. And the last one comes from at Bruce Bixby.
Bruce Bixby, he's here.
Don't make me angry. You won't like it when I'm angry.
Was this like a HAL 3000 again? What is going on?
I know, right?
Piss off Bixby.
Yeah, we won't make you
God
angry.
Forbid. Right,
Bruce.
right. I had some DMs today. I had 3 people check in and ask me things.
Oh, good.
Gumbo Slime asks, how do you take your burger? It's a fair question.
Well, anally if I can.
An adventurous type.
Adventurous type.
There are supposed to be taste buds down there. They're just not hooked up.
They're not hooked up.
But you can still feel the spice of capsaicin after you eat it, right?
Absolutely.
It's like the nerves are hooked up, but thank God the taste buds aren't.
Oh.
That's a blessing.
That is a blessing. Absolutely. No, seriously, I like my burger simple. I don't like to complicate things. Will I eat some sort of exotic combination? Sure. I typically like burger. By the way, Cody Mang, my boy, he is a chef, and he made me a burger the other night.
Phenomenal.
Holy shit.
Good stuff.
Holy shit. It was great. Anyway, I typically like burger, medium to medium well, somewhere between, just a little bit of pink. And then bacon, cheese, could be cheddar, Colby Jack. That's about as exotic as I'll get. Like, what cheese do I want to put on it? And then some mayo and lettuce, and I am good. That burger is fucked, man.
That's true. I can get down with that. I too like my burger mid-rare or medium. I'll get a little crazy sometimes with the exotic burgers like you were mentioning. I'll try almost anything once to see if I like it. But usually just like a medium burger. I usually do double slice of cheese, right? It's like maybe one American, one pepper jack.
Ooh.
So you get like the creaminess and then a little kick. Go with that, and then
I'll do
what
you're throwing down there.
Yeah, heck yeah. Then I'll go like lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, ketchup, mustard.
Some onion. Onion's not bad.
Onion's not bad, that's for sure. Yeah. If you're getting crazy with it, you could do like a caramelized onion too.
Caramelize that shit, dude. Yeah. Oh, oh my god.
Yeah, right? Yeah. Now that's an idea.
I'm so hungry.
Crazy questions about burgers. Lump asks, what's your favorite shooter games?
It's a good question.
depends how wide of a range you would call a shooter game.
Mm-hmm.
It's like some would just break that down to like first-person shooters, your Call of Duties and Battlefields. But I would argue Grand Theft Auto has enough shooting in it to be a shooter game.
Yep.
And I would definitely say GTA 5 is up there. And if we're going that route, I'll put Cyberpunk 2077 up there as well.
Yep.
But if we're just talking first-person shooters, I love the original Modern Warfare 1 and 2. No, 2 and 3 more so. And then the Black Ops 1 and 2. 3 was pretty good. And then Call of Duty Ghosts, highly underrated, I think.
I was about to say that might be my favorite one.
Yeah.
That might be my favorite one. Yeah, I like that one. I'm glad you mentioned GTA 5 because I was going to mention that because, as you say, you might not specifically mention that as a shooter game.
Right.
But it kind of sort of is.
Yeah.
And the thing I like best about it is, well, besides like from its predecessor, the graphics just improved tremendously.
Right.
But I feel like the gameplay in terms of your shooting and your aiming, whether you have a sniper or you have some sort of automatic weapon or a handgun or whatever, they put work into that,
yeah,
man.
They did.
They really put work into that. So I really love that. And so it'd probably be that and Ghosts. And I'm going to go retro.
All right.
Duck Hunt.
Duck Hunt. Really? Okay.
Duck Hunt. And I'm not talking about sitting at home playing Duck Hunt. I'm talking about
like the arcade machine.
Going to the arcade. We got the big orange and green plastic guns in there. And you're sitting there in an arcade, a gun that's like a 88 Magnum.
Right.
And you're just sitting there popping ducks and squirrels and shit that's popping up. So that might be the OG first shooter game.
Sure. Did that precede Doom?
I think it did.
Oh, yeah.
Pretty sure it did. Because I was a kid playing Duck Hunt.
Right. Yeah, Doom was a bit later then, I guess.
Yeah. And then you have, like, for PC gamers, you have Castle Wolfenstein, which graphically is rough.
I'm sure. Yeah.
But it was great, because it's just like you're going through these mazes, and you're shooting zombie Nazi guys, and it's great.
That's fantastic.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
The final question I received today. Several bumblebees ask, why do people hate us? We're the good guys. That's a great question.
Valid.
I've never understood that. Bumblebees, honeybees, I mean, 99% of the time they're just chilling.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
Yeah.
Like they might land on your watermelon slice or whatever, and you can just like, blow on them, they'll fly away, they get the message. It's the wasps and the hornets and the yellow jackets. They're the assholes.
They are. And people mistake them. Bees. I'm like, that wasn't a bee.
No.
That wasn't a bee, and you just swatted at it, and now it's going to be
now
like,
you're fucked.
And now it's like, oh, really? Okay.
You trying to go?
You want to go? Yeah, yellow jacket. If you swing your hand at a yellow jacket, like, get away, that is a sign for him to be like, oh, I'm not.
Attack mode.
I'm not going away,
right.
and I'm about to attack you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so don't misidentify the nasty ones.
Yeah.
Because you're giving bees a bad name. And they're already having it rough enough out here with big ag and chemical companies murdering them.
Right.
So let's give our bees a little respite.
No doubt.
I think.
I have a small garden, and I really didn't do much with it this year. But in previous years, I do peppers and tomatoes and celery and other stuff.
Garlic growing in there.
I had garlic growing in there.
That's good stuff.
And so this weed was growing, and I would take pictures of it. Aiden's mother is like great at like identifying things. And I guess there's an app for that too. But she identified as goldenrod. And I'm like, oh. And at the time I just had one. It was one random. It looked really silly. But what I noticed is that the bumblebees loved it.
Right.
Could not get enough of it. They were just like, hey, this is cool. Well, apparently goldenrod is slightly invasive because now I've got like 6 or 7 of them.
Yeah.
And I was able to use some in a float for National Organization of Women Poor County. What's up, lad? So I used that in their float. But anyway, the bumblebees love it. So if you have anything in your garden, around your home, and you're like, oh, that's a weed, but you see bumblebees and stuff being like, we love this, leave it alone.
Yeah, it's chill.
Yeah.
Just let it be. I, too, have a bunch of goldenrod and other like asters and stuff that are just great pollinators. And in my backyard there used to be, well, there still is, but not as much anymore. There's this huge semicircle filled with rocks and stuff, like a perfect fireplace area, and the goldenrod just took it over. Absolutely everywhere.
It does.
And at first I'm like, man, like, well, there goes my fire pit idea, unless I tear everything up and put new liners and whatever. And then I was like, fuck it, they can have it.
They can have it, yeah.
They can have it. I don't have a fire pit yet. There's good pollinators. I'll leave it. You know?
But you have a good sized yard where it's very easy for you to go, plan B. All right, where else are we going?
And put it somewhere else. So
no doubt.
Yeah, I was happy about that. But yeah, hey, yo, shout out bees.
No doubt.
For sure.
Shout out bees. Bees, the official sponsor
Yeah.
of the Mockmo Show.
We hope.
So right about now, we move on to a segment called The Other Foods with Aiden Maloney. Now, The Other Foods is just that. Is it a burger? Mm-mm. Is it a hot dog? Nah. Pizza? Mm-mm. It is some random crazy shit from around the globe.
Very true.
Aiden spends hours upon hours scouring the globe, actually.
In person. Yeah.
You know,
I do some traveling.
Sweden, Luxembourg, Fiji Islands, wherever you go. Yeah.
Both of the European countries.
But both of them.
Sweden and Luxembourg.
Sweden and Luxembourg, the two.
Everything around them is just future Sweden and future Luxembourg.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
The rest are just irrelevant. Anyway, Aiden, what do you got for us today?
Okay. I have a plethora, I found, because I wanted to bring this up, but they're not... Like, some of the other foods I've covered on this show are, like, nasty and just wild to conceptualize. And these have been on my mind for a while, and I've just started seeing more and more of them. They're, like, the recent food trends you see on TikTok or Red Note or wherever else. So I've compiled a list of, what do I have, 7 or some out of these, that I'm just going to run through because they just don't sound good.
Okay.
The first one I've got, vanilla ice cream with olive oil. Some people swear by it. Other people have tried it, and they're like, no, it's as gross as it seems. So
no.
That's like, all of these are going to be like that, where like some people are like, OMG, this has got to be the new thing. It's awesome. It's so good. And then other people try it, and they're like, yeah, nah, not really. I can't... What would ice cream... How would ice cream be complemented by olive oil?
I have no idea.
Olive oil has a very distinct flavor.
It does. I think of olive oil. I'm either making a Greek or an Italian dish.
Right.
End of story.
That's it.
Yeah.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
Ooh. Next one I've got went crazy viral on TikTok, I think a year or two ago. Watermelon and mustard.
Oh, no. What?
Yeah.
Mustard. Yeah.
Yeah. So they just drizzled mustard on watermelon and called it the greatest thing ever. I don't think I've tried it. I don't think I've tried it. I've tried like tahini on watermelon.
Yeah.
That's pretty unique. Not sure it's for me, but I get it. But mustard on watermelon that's a no.
No way.
Conceptually, it makes no sense.
Nope. Now, if you're in Chicago, mustard on hot dog.
It's
the only way.
Chicago dog style.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah, keep your ketchup at home. Don't bring that shit in here.
Don't even dare. Make sure you have your celery salt, though.
Yes.
Next one I found, bananas on a quesadilla.
I'll listen.
I did. That's just it. You make a quesadilla, cheese quesadilla, you put bananas on it and eat it.
No.
Like,
no.
what?
Why?
Yeah. It's another one of those things where bananas are, like, cloyingly sweet, right?
Yeah.
And a quesadilla is a savory item. That
Right.
doesn't mix. Cheese and bananas? Have we lost the plot?
Now, see. All right, this is kind of a callback. Bananas are ass anyway. Not banana flavoring. I like banana flavoring. But that consistency, get the F out, dude. I'm like, no way in hell. It's like, here, peel this thing and eat this thing that has the texture of paste. No, thank you. No, thank you. So yeah, on a quesadilla, On toast, on a plate, no.
Beans on toast.
On toast, no, none of it.
Well, sounds like you love bananas. You'll love this one too. This is a southern one. Bananas and mayonnaise yogurt sandwich. So you're doing the math in your head. So
I am.
bananas,
Yep.
mayonnaise,
Yep.
yogurt, sandwich.
No.
That's a no. And there's the whole thing from like the 1950s, right, where mayonnaise was in every dish.
Oh, yeah.
And they would just mix bananas and mayonnaise. It's just a foul idea.
No. And see, here's the thing. I love mayonnaise. I really do. As a matter of fact, I guess this is maybe more of an English thing. I love to dip my fries in it. I think it's great.
I've heard about that.
Yep.
I think Kevin actually mentioned that on the last episode. Like,
I actually prefer that over ketchup. Yeah, so... No. Damn.
yeah, with bananas.
Damn. No.
It's a flavor I can't think about how that would taste in my mouth, and I'm fine with that being that way. You know? I don't want to think any further about how that could taste.
No, I really don't.
Yeah.
God, that's so gross.
It sounds foul.
Like, literally, if I came across some Southern, I'd be like, oh, honey, what, is somebody hurt you? Somebody hurt you?
Yeah.
Is it child?
You all right?
Do the Michael Jordan thing? Stop it.
Get some help.
Get some help.
This is another watermelon one. Kind of curious. Watermelon and feta cheese is another one. I don't... Like, it doesn't sound as crazy as watermelon with mustard, but I still... Like, I picture feta cheese being on salads or gyros. On watermelon? Why can't we just leave watermelon alone? It's phenomenal as is.
Agreed.
Just let watermelon be watermelon. I've got two more here. Spaghetti and salsa. So you ditch the marinara, add salsa. I don't know how to feel about that.
That one isn't the most repulsive.
No, it's not repulsive. It's just curious. Because marinara was already fine. Alfredo sauce is perfectly fine as well.
Right.
But salsa is... I mean, you get the flavor of, like, vinegar and onion in there. There is tomatoes, but, like,
right.
They're kind of secondary flavors. Like, salsa's kind of harsh just to be on noodles, right? Like, at least the salt of a chip cuts through it.
That's true.
You know?
That's a good
so
point.
I don't know if I'm down with spaghetti and salsa.
I don't know. And it's like, if somebody had said, I put it on there because I like a little bit of kick, well, they make arrabbiata sauce.
Right.
If you like a kick.
Sure.
Huh. Yeah, I don't know.
So, yeah, I just don't... I don't know if I'm down with that one.
Yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah. The last one I had on here kind of hit me in a way because I love coffee. Big coffee guy. Usually take it black, but I'll get adventurous and try some of the...
Like my men.
Yeah, exactly. Damn right. Coffee and olive oil. I don't know what it is about olive oil or why it's in ice cream and now coffee, but if the coffee didn't make you shit, coffee and olive oil is going to make you explode. It's going to break you. Why would you put olive oil in coffee? What a horrible
I don't
idea.
even know.
They wouldn't emulsify.
They wouldn't. I was just imagining that. I'm like, isn't it just going to skim across the top?
Right.
Ugh. Ugh.
That just sounds foul.
I mean, I could see myself doing it, and you'd have yourself a nice, Americano, right? And you have your cup and the black coffee, and you put it on top, and you're like, oh, Exxon Valdez. I mean, I don't...
Right.
God, it's disgusting.
So, it looks like an oil slick.
I'm going to drink an oil slick today. Yeah, I'm not down with that at all.
No. I'll stick to my coffee, and I'll use olive oil properly, which usually means in a pan.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure most of the chefs out there are like, yeah, that's the purpose.
Right, exactly.
That's what you do with that.
In a pan, on a like pasta salad dish, whatever.
That's it.
Yeah. In a vinaigrette. That seems like a perfectly fine spot for it to be in.
I feel like olive oil needs to put instructions on their bottles now.
Yeah, right.
People are getting stupid.
Do not put in coffee.
Do not put in coffee. And for God's sake, leave the vanilla ice cream alone.
See, I just figured I'd talk about some crazy food trends today.
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. That is so great. And we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, our signature segment, You Just Made the List. All right, we're back with you. Just made the list. That is our top 10 list here on the Mark Mo Show. And, of course, it can be on just about anything, and usually is. And we have no rules. Zero.
By design.
Well, technically, maybe one.
In a paradoxical sense, the only rule is that there's no rules.
There are no rules.
Right.
So we have a top 10 list, 10 to 2, our big number one reveal. And this week, since we've had the quote-unquote pitchers and catchers report, thank baby Jesus, I figured we would do a baseball one. And so this week's is top 10 major league pitchers of all time.
It's pretty good.
It's vast. There's a lot of them.
It is vast.
So I'm very interested. What do you have, Aiden?
All right. Well, I did some research.
Yes, sir.
Found the pitchers with some good statistics. Went way back in time. As is my number 10 here, Walter Johnson. I believe from the 1920s.
Oh.
20s or 30s, Walter Johnson. Phenomenal ERA and whip. A shit ton of seasons and games played. And I'm like, wow, what a great place to start, right? Going way back in time.
Yeah.
And then, of course, we'll hear some more familiar names as I go. Number 9, Bob Gibson. Super powerful guy. Number 8, Sandy Koufax. Number 7, Tom Seaver. Number 6, the homie, Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
You got to.
And may I just add a Nolan Ryan story.
Oh.
It's the older Nolan Ryan was still a badass. Matter of fact, I don't know how old he is today. He's probably well into his 70s now.
Sure.
Threw out a ball at a game and still hit in the 80s.
Oh, my God.
Unreal. But that's not the story. The story is he's pitching against the White Sox, against Robin Ventura. Nolan Ryan hits him. Now, in baseball, many baseball fans know sometimes when things happen, guy gets hit, the next team's like, oh, all right, eye for an eye.
Right.
Might not happen today, might happen in the game tomorrow, but we're going to plunk one of your guys. Usually when that happens, not a lot of malice, try to hit him in the thigh or the ass cheek or something.
Right.
Well, Nolan Ryan drills Robin Ventura.
Right.
And Robin takes like a half step, and maybe his brain realizes just for a millisecond
Right.
that this isn't the best idea.
Yeah.
But then he runs at him. Nolan Ryan is he's Stone Cold Steve Austin pitching.
Right.
And as soon as Robin went, I think everybody collectively went, oh no.
Bad idea.
Nolan Ryan knocked his ass off. Just destroyed him. So with all of his accolades and how great of a pitcher he was, the one thing I remember is him just popping Ventura. Ventura bleeding in the dugout. It's just like,
That's
wow,
hilarious.
That's pretty awesome.
He can do both.
He can do both, right.
What a guy. Number 5 on my list, the old Randy Johnson.
Oh, yeah.
Had to be on here. Number 4, Cy Young. I mean, they named the whole award after him.
Got to be on there.
Got to be in the top 5 at least. Number 3, Greg Maddux. He's a G.
Oh, he's great. And the thing is, and which Aiden will appreciate, Aiden used to pitch for a while through high school. And as big and strong as Aiden is, he could never reach a certain velocity that like would make him that next level pitcher.
Right, yeah.
Which he would have been if he had the velocity. However, he really utilized...
I'm the junk boy.
the junk fan. And so he really kind of utilized that. So that's what kind of made me think of that.
Yeah, yep. The curve, the knuck, the sinker, the splitter. I never got the splitter fully, but I got it a couple times and it was kind of nasty.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And for people, I've coached high school ball. I coached Aiden. And when you have a pitcher like that, it's such a weapon. Not that you necessarily want that guy to start.
Right.
But if you have a couple of big, like we had a couple of big country boys and they just fire pellets. But the thing is, come like the middle innings, they're done.
Yeah.
And you could tell the velocity drops and it's like, oh, they're going to get cream now. As soon as that happens, you bring in your junk guy. And this team's been clocking the speedy guy.
Him, yeah.
And Aiden, being big and strong how he looks, the other team doesn't think, oh, this guy's just going to throw a bunch of crap at us.
Right.
We played one of the top teams in the state. And Aiden went out there in the middle innings to relieve, I think it would have been Mason.
Yeah.
And just started throwing shit. And they looked sad. I think they had one hit off him in 2 innings. He made them look so stupid. It was great.
Made y'all look silly out there.
Yeah, was that Hebron? Is that who it was?
I think it was.
Yeah.
That sounds right.
Oh, I was so happy.
Yeah.
I was so happy for you. That was fun.
Yeah, it was very good.
Sorry for the baseball talk.
No,
folks.
it's all good. We used to be more sports-centric, but
We did.
We can still touch on that. Who's going to stop us? We already
judges?
said there's no rules, right?
No rules. Nope.
Number 2 on my list, Roger Clemens.
Yeah.
He deserves that.
Mm-hmm. No doubt.
So that's my 10 through 2 right there.
All right. I'm going to start out number 10. What with the reliever? Mariano Rivera.
Oh, that's good.
And it's hard because he's a Yankee. Sorry, New York fans. I like Boston, so that was hard. But
Credit where credit's due.
No doubt. Anytime he came into the game as a Red Sox fan, I'm like, oh, goddamn.
Yeah.
Because you just knew more than likely it was over.
Yep.
Cy Young, number 9. Number 8, Randy Johnson.
Good old Randall.
Number 7, Roger Clemens. Number 6, Bob Gibson.
True.
Number 5, Tom Seaver. Number 4, Pedro Martinez. Got to put Pedro on.
For sure.
No doubt. Number 3, Sandy Koufax. Dodger pitcher, lefty. Guy was just a beast. And number 2, Nolan Ryan.
Perfect. Very good.
I'm very interested to
Very
see
good.
who you have as your number 1.
Number 4 was my number 1. I put Pedro Martinez at
Yes,
the old
let's
number
go.
1 spot. Yeah.
Pedro is such a badass.
He's a G.
He was so good.
I had to give him the number 1 nod.
Oh, yeah, for sure. I give my number 1 to Greg Maddux.
There we go.
And
Hell yeah.
because it was great. It was like he wasn't a guy who was going to sit there and throw 98 miles an hour.
Right.
But he was such a student of the game and had incredible control and good pitches. Not the high velocity, but good pitches and great control. That's all you need.
Right.
So he'd come up to a guy, and sometimes he'd bait him. You know, like throwing close to the zone because he had that control.
Right.
And that guy'd be like, oh, yeah. And maybe even have a catcher kind of set up in the zone. And the guy'd be like, here we go. And
Right.
then Maddux would break him off.
Yeah.
And just make guys look stupid. Such a good pitcher. I love the cerebral players. I really do. Because those are the guys that's like, look, physically and talent-wise, I might not be upper echelon. But I'm so damn smart.
Right.
I got you.
Yep.
I love that. I love players like that.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
Oh, no doubt. We're now on to another segment of ours called Review Preview. And that is where I review a movie, preview a movie. Here's the thing, though. Homie has been going to movies. I've been ill for 2 weeks. All sorts of weird respiratory shit. And I couldn't talk for a while. Anybody that likes my After Hours show knows I just had an AI British woman do my DJing for me this past week. Ended up working pretty well. Maybe I'll hire her. At any rate, so when I don't have an opportunity to preview and review new movies, I kind of go retro.
True.
And so what I did this time, once again based on the pitchers and catchers reporting and everybody kind of getting in that baseball mindset a little bit, Major League. So there's a movie called Major League, and as baseball movies go, you know, people might put Field of Dreams, or people might put, and once again, I love that movie, and a lot of other movies that are baseball movies. But Major League kind of has that combo of, like, you got Bob Uecker in the broadcast booth,
Right.
with that little flunky stooge of a sidekick.
You can't say that on air.
You know, it's so good. So basically, there's this woman that plays a new owner of the Indians, right? Former showgirl, Rachel Phelps. And she has a sweetheart deal to move the team to Miami. But to break the lease, the ticket sales have to plummet. So, how are you going to do that? She hires the most incompetent players available, including a near-blind pitcher in Ricky Vaughn, an injury-prone catcher, Jake Taylor, and another cast of characters. But her villainous tactics accidentally foster a can-do team spirit, turning the Indians into potential winners. The movie also stars Wesley Snipes, Corbin Burnson, Dennis Haysbert, and Rene Russo. Great cast. Funny movie. I saw that in the theater with a friend of mine. And literally, and this, God, was it high school or college? I forget how old I was. We'll leave that part out. We'll fix it in post. Anyway, we saw it in the theater. And as the movie progresses and they're playing the game, and of course they're playing against the big baggy Yankees at the end or whatever, you're like hyped and you're like rooting like you're watching a real game.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, if you can be kind of this silly kind of comedy thing, but still have a little bit of that competitive spirit in gaming, and you're invested in this.
You
now.
invoke the emotions of baseball.
You really do. And then you have a little bit of a romantic comedy in there too, with Jake Taylor and his old ex and that sort of thing. Like, all of it just works. And the manager who played Lou Brown, that guy was amazing. And when she calls to hire him, or the general manager called to hire him, he was actually a manager at a tire shop. And it's one of the funnier scenes. And he calls him up, was like, "Hey, how would you like to manage the Cleveland Indians this year?" He's like, "Well, I don't know. I got a guy on the other line about a set of white walls. Let me call you back." So great. So great.
That's funny.
Yep. But it's a really good movie. You don't have to be an Indians fan to love it. If anything, it made me into an Indians fan.
Right.
So it's
until they played the Cubs in 2016.
That was stressful.
Yeah.
And we choose not to remember that first part of the World Series. Cause
right.
Like, oh my God, they're kicking our ass. And then we figured out who we were.
We brought it around town.
We were fine after that. But at any rate, so good, so funny. So get out there. And it's usually what I do when a season begins. Cue up Major League. Cue up Field of Dreams. I'm trying to think what's that. Sandlot. Sandlot's a classic.
That's a classic for sure.
Sandlot is definitely a classic. I love that one. Moneyball. Don't sleep on Moneyball. That is it's an intelligent movie because they talk about how cybermetrics and stuff like that are getting into the game as a way to, you're paying players for runs.
Right.
And the value comes from guys that get on base. And people can be like, "Oh, well, that guy doesn't steal, and that guy strikes out too much, or this guy does that or does that." What does he do? He gets on base.
Right. Yep.
How do you produce runs? Guys getting on base.
True.
So, like, there's a lot to that. And that's a fun movie, too. So check out Moneyball, too.
Absolutely.
Awesome. All right. Well, we are going to move on to one more segment before we take our next break. And that is While You Were Sleeping. So while you were sleeping, of course, you missed the movie Major League. But I'm very interested to hear what else we were sleeping on. Aiden?
Very true. Well, per usual, this trend of mine has not stopped yet. Indie horror games. I love them. I love them. They're fantastic. I love indie games in general because AAA games, even with their crazy inflated budgets, they just seem so disconnected. Mm-hmm. Especially over the last 5, maybe 10 years, even you could argue, that they're just so disconnected from what people typically want.
Yeah.
So I love indie games. I love horror games. The one I have for you today, while you guys were sleeping on it,
yes,
is a game called Trader of the Night.
Ooh.
Game from 2022, made by Notovia, the same game dev behind I'm on Observation Duty.
Oh, yeah. Well, anybody that follows Aiden's content, you know that one.
Yes, I'm a huge fan. And this one goes in a completely different direction, but it's fantastic still. It's a game about a horror-themed stock market simulator.
Okay.
It's awesome. So the premise is you've made some mistakes. You owe some money to some very, very bad people. So you have to make enough money to pay them back by trading stock, like essentially day trading at night. So you buy, sell, short sell these fictional companies, pay dividends, earn dividends, whatever, and pay taxes because you don't want to piss off the tax man either.
That's true.
Because they'll send someone out to knock on your door. So you essentially have one night to get enough money to pay back these bad people and also have enough to pay off your taxes. And you're essentially plopped in this dark room. You know, it's the dead of night. It's a dark room, and you've got all these screens in front of you. You're tracking all your trading stuff. You can do nothing except for trade and, like, look at the news and email and everything and swivel around in your chair. So the door is directly behind you. The door to your room is behind you.
Yep.
And, you know, you hear knocks and tips and taps, and you're, like, swiveling around panicked. you get all these emails, like threatening emails of like, hey, we found this. It's like a picture of a dead body. Reminded me of you. It's like, oh no.
Oh, wow.
So it's fantastic. Very stressful in a fun way. And it's just super, super fun. Because it doesn't take itself super seriously, right? Like, I mean, all the companies are named something silly, but it's pretty in-depth the way that the actual trading part of it works, because you've got like a whole news tab. So as news stories come in, you're like, oh, this crazy thing just happened, so the market's going to react like this. And you're doing all these things. Meanwhile, there's that looming horror behind you of like, oh my God, are the bad people going to show up? Like, am I going to make it?
Yeah.
Piss off the tax man? So
That's pretty good.
It's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think it's only like 6 or 7 bones.
Okay.
Like most indie games, it's not an expensive game. You know, It's not like your AAA shit that costs $75. So, I think it's great. I would highly recommend.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
I love that, and I love that you're kind of on this journey through those types of games.
Yes, me too. It's a lot of fun.
That's excellent. Well, thank you for what we've clearly missed, and so now don't miss it. That's your job. That's what you got to do for next week. It's your homework assignment.
You're welcome.
Don't mess it up. Anyway, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to move on to our final segment, the World of Weird News, here on the Mark Mo Show. All right, everybody, we are back with a world of weird news. We scour the globe for the craziest ass news stories we can find, and we do. We find them. Quite frankly, we don't have to leave the state of Florida to...
Yeah, exactly.
There's always stories about Florida man,
and
Florida woman, and Florida child. There's always crazy stuff. But, what I've learned as we've gone through our journey on this, we used to do this on the radio side of things, is that there are a lot of crazy-ass people everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere. So I definitely went to the other side of the globe. This is from New Zealand.
Ooh, New Zealanders, all right.
New Zealand, yeah. New Zealand's Mount Taranaki is now legally a person.
What?
A mountain in New Zealand is now legally recognized as a person after being granted all the rights and responsibilities of a human by the government.
How's the mountain going to pay its taxes?
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. Really, you're a mountain, and you just say, hey, you got to pay your tax, move me.
Yeah, right.
What are you going to do?
You going to arrest me?
You ain't going to do nothing. I don't know why Mount Taranaki is
I'm a
from Brooklyn,
here.
but yeah, I'm a mountain here. What are you gonna do, huh? I got other mountain friends. So, the new law offers extra protection for Mount Taranaki, now known as Taranaki Mananga.
Oh, okay.
Its Maori name, and it means it has all the rights, powers, duties, and responsibilities of a person.
Curious.
It is part of an agreement between New Zealand's government and the indigenous Maori tribes,
all
which
right.
have long considered the 8,261-foot mountain an ancestor.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I can get down with that.
Yeah. So, just so you know, kids, you're a quarter mountain. The mountain's legal. Once again, I don't know why the story from New Zealand has a Brooklyn accent involved. Just work with it. My voice, we're on life support. Just work with me here.
Every character in this story just has a different accent. It's like, this baby is 12% mountain.
He's 12% mountain. Oh, my God. We'll make it through. I swear to God we will. The mountain's legal personality has a name. Te Kahui Tapu which the law views as there's too many names, which the law views as a living and indivisible whole.
Whoa.
It includes Taranaki and its surrounding peaks and land, incorporating all their physical and metaphysical elements. 4 members of the local Maori iwi, or tribes, and 4 others appointed by the country's conservative minister will make up a new entity that acts as the face and voice of the mountain. The law rules.
Oh, okay.
All right, that's fine.
It's like an interpreter.
It's kind of like a power of attorney
Yeah, exactly.
for the mountain. Anyway, the
I'm
legal...
a mountaineer.
I'm a mountaineer. The legal recognition also acknowledges the mountain's theft from the Maori of the Taranaki region after the New Zealand was colonized and fulfills an agreement of reparation.
Wow.
Oh, yeah, there's more. So it fulfills an agreement of reparation from the country's government to the indigenous people for harms perpetrated against the land. The legal rights essentially give the tribes more power to uphold the mountain's health and well-being in an era where it has become a popular spot for tourism, hiking, and snow sports. Despite the new bill, which passed unanimously through Parliament, the mountain will remain a publicly accessible destination. You got all these people walking all over me. I thought I was a person.
You gotta have the right shoes. Where's your Timbs?
Where's my power of
where's your
attorney?
Timbs?
Get these guys. Where's your Timbs?
Where's the Yankee no brim?
Come on. The mountain has long been honored ancestor, a source of physical, cultural, and spiritual sustenance, and a final resting place. Paul Goldsmith, I was about to say, he does not sound Maori. The politician responsible for the settlements between the government and the Maori tribes told Parliament in a speech on Thursday. Debbie, man, these names kill me.
Debbie, last name.
Nagarwa Packer, a co-leader of the political party, Te Pati Maori, and a descendant of the Taranaki tribes, said the law released the mountain from the shackles of injustice, of ignorance, of hate. Damn.
Wow, that's a speech right there.
That's a speech.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. It comes amid significant tension in the country over Maori rights, which led tens of thousands of people to march on Parliament in November last year. Colonizers of New Zealand in the 18th and 19th century took the mountain from the tribes after British explorer Captain James Cook spotted the peak from his ship and renamed it Mount Egmont.
Wow.
That sounds like
to the Brits to do
leave
some
it to the
dumb
Brits
shit.
stuff. Fuck it all, Jesus, God.
The only thing the Brits are good for is the rest of us having fun Independence Days
Yes.
to celebrate getting away from you pricks.
Yeah, that's about right. Indeed, yes, quite.
Indubitably.
I think it looks like a Mount Egmont.
Mount Beans and Toast. Mount Cup of Tea.
They are such culinary
Okay,
experts.
Reginald.
Reginald. In 1840, Maori tribes and representatives of the British Crown signed a Treaty of Waitangi. I almost said Wu-Tang Clan. That's okay. New Zealand's founding document in which the Crown promised Maori would retain rights to their land and resources. However, the Crown breached its agreement. What a surprise. Classic Brit move. The mountain and land nearby was confiscated in 1865 to punish Maori for rebelling. Over the next century, hunting and sports groups had a say in the mountain's management while the Maori did not. Traditional Maori practices associated with the mountain were banned while tourism was promoted. And it wasn't until a protest movement by the tribes in the 1970s and 80s that their language, culture, and rights began to be recognized in law.
Ah, I see.
Redress has included billions of dollars in treaty of Wu-Tang Clan settlements, such as the agreement with the 8 tribes of Taranaki signed in 2023. Mount Taranaki joined Te Ura, a vast native forest on the North Island, and the Wanganui River in being recognized as people under the law.
Okay, well, I get it, right? I get it. for legal reasons, it checks.
It checks.
It checks. But in layman's terms, you made the mountain a person, and now it sounds like this. I got the people walking all up on me. No Tim's in sight.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing? I'm a mountain.
Someone took my Yankee no brim.
Yeah, who's that James Cook clown? How's he doing renaming me?
Y'all know the Wu-Tang Clan treaty? Come on. Step off.
Step off. I'm a mountain here.
I'm a mountain here.
So I'm very interested. What in the wide world of weird news did you find?
The wide world of weird news brings me to a story from Standard, which is a publication out of the UK. And of course, they have to report on the United States as well, because, hey, we need it. Drunk Florida man drives lawnmower down major highway, tells police, just take me to jail.
Oh, no.
So this is a story from 2020. So you're talking COVID in full effect.
Yep.
This is in the summer of 2020. A drunk Florida man asked a police officer, quote, take him to jail after he was caught driving his lawnmower on a major road. Paul Burke was arrested on a charge of DUI on August 5th of 2020. Burke had already three previous DUI charges, and the footage shows Deputy Richard Jintz trailing Mr. Burke as the inebriated Floridian drove his lawnmower down Highway 316 just north of Orlando City. The officer pulled him over and asked how much he had to drink. Burke replied in the classic fashion of, just a couple on the way home.
Oh, no.
And then he then proceeded to ask if the deputy was going to take him to jail or not. The footage shows him staggering as he attempted to do some sobriety tests, frustrated with the exercises, and refusing an offer to just try them again. He asked simply, "No, sir, just take me to jail."
That's hilarious.
I believe they may have impounded his lawnmower too, but the story did not cover that point, because I'm sure they didn't leave the lawnmower on the highway, right?
Right.
They wouldn't have done that.
No, I wouldn't think so.
Does that mean when blood gets out, he's like, has to go down to impound, like, hey, I'm here for my lawnmower? You're here for what?
You're here for what? Oh, my God.
It's my vehicle, damn it.
Well, yeah, because, once again, back to GTA, you can go to the police station. So when you mess up and say you're like on a mission or whatever, and you leave your car somewhere, or something happens with your car, and you go back and it's gone, it's at the police station.
Right.
So you just have to go back to the police station if you have some cash and get it out. I immediately thought of that when dude rolls up the police station and then and the door opens and there's
my John Deere.
Here's a riding lawnmower. That would have been a great thing to put in the game, by the way.
That would have been a good bit.
A riding lawnmower. That is so funny.
Yeah, Florida man just really gets my heart, you know?
Oh, yeah. No doubt. It really does.
It's the most grand of stories.
Florida never fails.
Never ceases to amaze.
Oh, I know. It's really amazing. But it does not technically conclude our show for the day, because Aiden and I, we were putting our brains together along with our new person friend Mountain. That's right. I gave my 2 cents here, and basically we were going to start doing beer reviews. And so as we were plotting along here, it was like, oh shit, the beer review,
right?
And I'm like, well, there's beer.
That there is.
We have beer, so let's do it. This is our first official Mark Mo Show beer review.
Very true. We don't have a fun name for it yet, like we do for all of our other segments. But it could just be the official Mo Show beer review.
I think maybe. Yeah, just keep it simple.
Yeah.
I think that could definitely work. So why don't you tell these fine folks what we're sampling today?
Absolutely. Today, on the inaugural official Mo Show beer review, we've got a Lagunitas Little Something Something, which is an IPA. It's a Lagunitas, a brewery out of Petaluma, California. So just a quick trip across the nation from here.
That's right.
A little bit of a 30-hour drive, maybe?
Give or take.
Give or take.
30-hour
drive. Quick drive. So I made the drive out there. I just picked up one can for us to try.
I appreciate the effort.
Absolutely, yeah. So it is an ale, an India Pale Ale, quoted as smooth and silky. We'll be the judge of that. 12
Like me.
fluid ounces, 7.5%. So it's got some oomph to it.
It's got a little oomph. I love that.
Got a little oomph to it. And the Lagunitas Brewing Company logo is this cute little dog with a spot in his eye.
I know. I love it. I love the dog.
Very cute dog. So we're going to be sampling this here today. If you at home have a brewski, you can feel free to join us. We're not sponsored. I want to make that very clear.
Right.
We're not sponsored. We just enjoy brewskis.
But if you want to, and PBR, technically, I'm not cheating on you.
Right. It's an open relationship with the PBR.
It really is.
Yeah.
It really is. It's for the job.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, it's just what we're paid to do, right?
That 100%, no question.
So we're starting sampling this, and this idea kind of sprouted from an app we both use. It's actually an app my mom got me into, and then thusly I got you into.
Yes.
It's called Untapped, and we're not sponsored by them either. But it's called Untapped. It's essentially just an app where you get to review different beers you've tried, and just like give them a rating out of 5,
Yep.
and flavor notes, where you got it at, who you were with, just kind of a fun thing that you can check in and do.
Yeah.
And that kind of spawned this idea.
Yep. It sure did. So, oh man, tough jobs.
Yeah.
Shucks. I suppose we should try this.
I suppose we should.
Mm-hmm.
The
Cheers.
Lagunitas Sluncha. Little something something. We're about to give you our first impressions. Let's see. Smooth and silky.
No doubt. I get that.
It is smooth. I'll give it that. The silk factor.
As IPAs go, for sure, 100%.
And I'm kind of in the minority as far as myself and my friends and family, as far as liking IPAs. My girlfriend Jordan hates them. My boy Kevin hates them. I just recently got our friend Zach Sauer into them. So I've got one.
I got one.
So it's
and I'm not opposed to them. I drink Malort. So
yes, proudly.
Proudly, really. I love that the after notes of
pine sorrel.
I was about to say pine tree scented cardboard thing in your car.
It accents the liquor in
such a way. It really does. It really does. It's so the fact that I can drink that and I can drink spiritus and I can drink absinthe and all that stuff. This is easy. For me, it's just a taste.
Sure, I can get down with that. This is very tasty, though.
Oh, I enjoy it. I enjoy it very much.
Smooth and silky is accurate, as advertised. Accurate. It had a nice pour on it too.
It really did.
A nice frothy.
It's a nice
head.
color.
Yeah. Not very hazy. Not very hazy. Very golden though. Not very dark. But yeah, it's nice. I would give this 5 big booms.
All right, that's how we're gonna roll.
Well, I'll start off. I don't know if I've rated this one in Untapped or not, but we'll have to do that after the show. But I'll probably give this a 3.75. I think this is very good.
I actually just gave it a 4.
4? Yeah. So there you have it. An aggregate score of like 3.89 or something.
8,
yeah.
Something like that. They told me there'd be no math. So.
Yeah, I know, right? But yeah, would recommend, not sponsored, but hey, let us know. If you at home try this, let us know what you think. Give us your rating.
Absolutely. Yeah, no doubt. I enjoy it, and I'm really going to. Well, let me do it this way. I really gonna enjoy and choosing the beers and reviews.
Boy, that 7.5% really hits.
It really hits. It's just after 2 sips. It really is. It's kind of amazing.
Quick acting.
No doubt.
It's like Advil. Yeah, our first ever official beer review.
Yes.
An aggregate score of 3.8 some odd. A strong start, I would say.
Definitely a strong start. Lagunitas, good job.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely like it. And
Petaluma, California. You keep up that great work, boys.
Keep up the great work. And we'll keep up the great work here on the Mark Mo Show. Please like and subscribe. We would appreciate that very much. Throw some comments out there if you want. If there's stuff you like to hear, stuff you don't like to hear. Maybe we'll ignore that, but you could put it down there if you
That's
want.
true. We'll take constructive criticism.
Absolutely. No question. So, so if you like it, we appreciate that. YouTube, all the podcast platforms, so make sure you check us out. Check out my After Hours show. Currently, that resides at a radio station here in Valparaiso, Indiana, at WVLP. So you can go to their website, get the stream, you go to the TuneIn app, and get that as well. I broadcast Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. I get a replay at Friday at 4 p.m. So you got a little drive time action there. A lot of Celtic punk. We have some alt. And I think, my personal opinion, I think alt rock, the last 2 or 3 years, some of the best music that's out there right now.
Certainly.
They're really hitting their stride. They're doing such a great job. But yeah, check it out if you can. And then, of course, I want to give it up to my main man here, Aiden Maloney and AK219, Guys Being Dudes.
Absolutely. It's fantastic. You can find that on YouTube and Patreon, and then my own channel, Aiden Spelled the Right Way, on there as well.
Absolutely. So make sure you check those out. Also want to give just a quick shout out to Smoketown Blues Barbecue. I want to give a shout out to The Entertainer Magazine. I want to give a shout out to Jatonia Greek Grill. I want to give a shout out to Simcoe Signs, YMCA Valpo, and Life Centers of Valpo. Almost forgot the last one.
How could we?
How could we do that? They're so great. Angie Monahan, you're the best. And that concludes this week's show. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Once again, if there's content you love, don't love, whatever, hit us up, like, subscribe. That's about it. I'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Adios.